What's up, everybody? This video is going to show you a little bit about mean, median, mode, and range, including how mean, median, mode, and range may show up on your GED exam. First thing we need to do is take some notes so that we can make sure we understand each of these categories, starting with mean. Mean is also called the average. And the way I like to remember that is the average person in Texas is mean. You're above average. I'm sure you're very nice. But what is it really to find the mean? We see mean when we have a set of numbers. For example, Julio works 5 days a week. On Monday, Julio makes $100. On Tuesday, Julio makes $120. On Wednesday, Julio makes $100. On Thursday, Julio makes $89. On Friday, when it's really busy, Julio makes $180. He doesn't work on Saturday. So we're going to leave that one blank. So we have our 5 days a week and how much Julio makes each week. The first step to finding the mean is to find the sum of all the numbers in the data set. Sum is a keyword for addition, which is to add. So we're going to add all of these together. Make sure you have your calculator handy. I have mine, and we have 100 plus 120 plus 100 plus 89 plus 180. I got undefined, and I know that's not correct. 100 plus 120 plus 100 plus 89 plus 180. Our sum is 589. After we find the sum, we need to find the quotient. That's another vocabulary word. Quotient means to divide. We need to find the quotient between the sum of the data set, 589, and the number of numbers within that data set. That is 5. 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we divide 589 by 5, we get the mean. And the mean in this case equals 117 and 8/10. Hopefully you got the same answer as me. And that is how we find the mean. Just get the sum of all the numbers in the data set, divide the sum by the numbers of numbers in the data set, and that will give you the mean. Finding the median is quite simple. The median is just like it is when you're driving. Where is the median when you're driving? It is in the middle. So the median is the middle number. Looking at this same data set where Julio has worked 5 days a week, we need to figure out what is the middle number. And we just can't come to Wednesday and say, here's our middle number, because that is not how we find the median number. First, the numbers have to be arranged in numerical order. And you can choose the order. Uh-oh, got too fancy. You can choose if it's greatest to least or least to greatest. I'm going to do least to greatest. So that's going to give us 89. Usually just make sure I'm keeping track. 100, and we have 100 twice. 120 and 180. Now I see one at a time which one is my median number. Get rid of my first one and then my last one. I go in this order until I'm left with one number in the middle. And in this case, our median is 100. Now, there are some times where you'll find two numbers in the middle, especially when dealing with even numbers. So let's pretend we had another number. We have 89, 100, 100, 120, 180, 190. Even number here. Let's get rid of the numbers one at a time. Now we have two numbers in the middle. If you get two numbers in the middle, what you need to do is add your first number and your second number. Find the average of the two numbers. So first, find the sum. That's going to be 220. And then remember to divide the sum by the numbers in the data set. We have two numbers in our data set. So 220 divided by 2. That is going to give us 110. So our median would then be 110. So remember, when you have two numbers in the middle, find the average of the two numbers to get the median. Let us move to the mode. The mode is all about the number that is shown the most. So let's take a look at Julio's data set. Which number in this data set is shown the most? Here we have 100 shown one time. 120 is not repeated. Here is 100 again. 89 is not repeated. 180 is not repeated. Therefore, our mode, the number that is shown the most, is going to be 100. Now, what if we would have had 100, 120, 100, 120, 89, 180? We would have had two modes, 100 and 120 would have been both the modes. So it is possible to have multiple modes as long as they are listed the same amount of time. And this brings us to our final vocabulary word for this session, and that is the range. The range is the difference. Difference is fancy or the big vocabulary word for subtract. The difference between the largest and smallest number. What is our largest number? Our largest number is 180. What is our smallest number? Smallest number is 89. What is 180 minus 89? 180 minus 89 is 91. So our 91 becomes the range. If you need to pause to review this again, please do so now, because now we're about to take it to the next level. So now that we understand how to find the mean, median, mode, and range, let's take a look at how it may appear on an exam. Here we have a data set of numbers. And we also have a word problem. But notice here, there's something missing. So let's see what's up with that question mark. Aziz accidentally threw away a piece of paper with the total amount of tickets sold on Saturday. He knows that the mean for the data in the table is 236. So we have a keyword here. We already know that the mean for the data is 236. I'm one of those people where I have to box in and circle in things as I go to make sure I'm understanding what I'm reading, especially in math. How many Kung Fu Panda movie tickets did Aziz movie theater sell on Saturday? This can actually happen in real life, where you need to have a number. You have the average, but you need to work backwards. So let's work through how we would find this missing data set here when the average is given. Step number 1 is to take the mean, which is the same thing as average, and multiply the mean times the number of data in the set. So let's see how many numbers are in this data set, including the missing number. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers in this data set, including the missing number. So we need to multiply 236 times 5. And when we multiply 236 times 5, we get 1,180. That's the first step that we need to do. Notice that I've used parentheses here and here. Parentheses can be used to signify multiplication. The next step is to find the sum. And we're going to find the sum of all the numbers in the data set. Of course, we don't have Saturday, so that'll just be 0. We can just leave it out for now. So let's add 124 plus 176 plus 289 plus 291. And we should get 880. Now here is the final step. Just gonna put it down here in the corner. Find the difference, basically the range. So we'll take 1,180 minus 880, and that is going to give us 300. 300 is the answer. As we can see, it is also one of our answer choices. Follow these 3 steps. Step number 1, take the mean, multiply it by the number in the data set. Step number 2, find the sum of all the numbers in the data set. Step number 3, find the difference between those 2 numbers. Pause this and review as needed, but let's move on if you're ready. Here comes the next question. Now that Aziz knows the number of tickets sold on Saturday, what is the median of his data set? So let's go ahead and put Aziz's numbers all up in that box. Here we go, 300. Now we need to find the median. Remember, the median is the middle number, but we need to put the numbers in numerical order. Here we go. Let's put them in order. 124, 176, 289, 291, 300. This is an odd set, so we'll have a pretty clear median, eliminating the sides to find the middle. And our median is 289. Last question before it's your time to practice. After finding the number of tickets sold on Saturday, what is the range of Aziz's data set? Let me read that again. After finding the number of tickets sold on Saturday, what is the range of Aziz's data set? So we're finding the range. And remember, when we're finding the range, it's all about the difference. Okay. Let's find the highest number in the data set. Of course, plug in what we know. That's going to be 300 minus the lowest number. The lowest number is 124. What is 300 minus 124? That is going to give us 176, which is C. It is now your turn to give it a practice. I am going to put a set of numbers on the screen. I know a lot of you guys like medical billing and coding, so let's talk about billing and insurance company. Okay. So we have Blue Cross, Blue Shield. Oops, let's make that neat now. We have Cigna. Molina. Might have spelled that one wrong. That's okay. Let's think of some more. We have a Mary. And let's say we have Parkland. All these insurance companies. Blue Cross Blue Shield gets billed $1,500. Cigna gets billed $530. Molina gets billed $530. Amerigroup gets billed $1,225. And Parkland gets billed $113. Oops. Excuse me. 48. Your challenge is to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Good luck. Once you find it, drop your answers in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I hope that this math lesson was helpful for you. Have a great day.